Hello, everybody. This is Jim, the tabletop engineer. Welcome to a Sunday night, 8 p.m. live Let's Paint Some Minis session. I'm going to wait a few minutes and let some folks join in before I get going. And let's see, let's catch up. I guess I was here last Sunday. Thanksgiving came and went. I spent it with my family and my wife's family, a good portion of my wife's family. This is actually the first bit of quiet I've had in 3 or 4 days. It's kind of nice. I'm down in my workshop. It's a little chilly here in Atlanta, so or at least at night. So down in the workshop, I've got a little jacket on, which is kind of weird to think that in late November here in Atlanta, we're still wearing short sleeves. Although, like I said, tonight's a little cool. If you're out there and you want to say hello in the chat, please do. Let me know you're here so I can say hi back. And we'll get painting some minis very shortly. I had a good Thanksgiving. I hope all of you in the U.S. who are celebrating had a nice one as well. If you had to work Thursday, sorry about that, but I do hope it was a good day for you, and I hope you did get a little bit of time to yourself or with family. I got plenty with family, so I'm needing some gym time right now. So anyway, so what are we doing tonight? Well, I am, by the way, I am so tired. I can't see straight, but we're going to chug through this. We're going to get through this. I've got 2 minis I'm going to be painting tonight. One is Captain Marvel from Marvel Crisis Protocol. Let's see if she'll focus there. There we go. She is a very cool figure. She's standing on a rock. It's like the wind's catching her, I don't know what that is, a belt around her. She's got a lot of vivid colors on her. She's gonna be fun to paint. This one I started to paint at Jeff Con 2 weekends ago, and I just didn't finish it. So I apologize. I'm not going to do. This is one of the Die Hard minis, sci-fi ones. It's a 3-armed woman with a mohawk, alien woman with a mohawk. She's got 2 pistols in the left arms and a sword in the other. She's just a real cool figure, and I'm going to finish her up tonight. Dirigo, hey, welcome. Glad you could join us. And again, if you're out there, say hello so I know you're around. So again, what I'm doing tonight is I'm just going to be painting these 2 minis. I'm happy to chat with y'all on whatever you want to talk about. I'll try to take breaks and check the chat session, and I'll try to take breaks and show you, what I'm working on. So with Captain Marvel, I think what I'm going to start with first is her flesh, just because the only exposed area she has is her face. So I want to go ahead and get that painted. I'm using speed paints, and I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of this Crusader skin, but I'm going to try it again. I've not had good luck with it, but I've shaken this bottle a lot. Somebody told me to just shake it. So I'm going to keep shaking it, and we're going to try and see what it does. I may have to apply a flesh wash to this after the fact. So I'm going to move the camera down to the tabletop here, and let me see. Yeah. And I'm just going to get painting. And like I said, I hope you guys are finding something to entertain yourselves while I'm painting. You don't have to watch me. Feel free to do your own thing. But I will take pauses here and there and show you what I'm working on. So the reason I don't like this, well, now it's not bad. And it may very well have been that I just wasn't shaking it well enough. Yeah, now it's looking more flesh colored, Caucasian color. I'll be darned. Could that have been it? Just wasn't shaking it well enough. I always shake my paints, but someone told me to shake this one really, really well. So I did. Before the video started, I shook all my paints really well. But actually, this one is not looking bad now that I put it on there. And I can tell I'm going to probably have to do 2 coats because it's or maybe just keep hitting it until I'm happy with it. That's not bad. We'll see how it looks when it dries. Project Eric, I'm scanning recipes still. You know what? Hey, it's a cool thing to do. I got to watch one of my aunts make gumbo. I love gumbo. My mom makes great gumbo. My aunt makes great gumbo. I do not make gumbo, and I really want to learn to make their recipe. So I'm bugging them to teach me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at her head and I'm going to work down. I think that's going to be the easiest way because she's actually, her uniform is red, yellow, and blue. But it's in layers. It's like it's just very interesting. It goes red for the neck, a yellow band across her chest, then blue for the torso and legs, and then red boots and yellow gloves. So we will see. I've got to be very, very careful with this red because if you mess up, I've learned if you mess up with the red, you really have to go back over it with primer. You cannot cover it up. It just won't. It just doesn't do. So I'm gonna just hold my breath and take my time here and hopefully get it as good as I can. I'm not going for perfection. I never do. I mean, well, that's not true. I try not to make mistakes so that when they do happen, hopefully they're minor. I'm just, I really, really want to play this game. I want to play it with my 12-year-old, and I need the miniatures painted. It just doesn't look right without them painted. I mean, it's Marvel heroes. They all have great costumes and stuff, and you just want them on the table covered in a really nice paint job. So hers, that red looks good. It's going to look very vivid when it dries. Now, the problem with the red and the yellow is they're right next to each other. So if the red bleeds into the yellow at all, I'm going to notice it. I'm going to see it. So I may have to do some touch-ups. I've accepted the fact that I may have to do some touch-ups on her. And that's okay. I can do that. I can already see it's sort of there's a line where the mold line, and it's got a capillary action. You can see where I can see where it sort of pulled some of the red down, but that's okay. I think the yellow will somewhat mask that. We will see. All right, so I'm gonna let the top dry really well before I hit it with the next layer, which is yellow, and then after that will be blue. So what I'm going to do right now is move on to this other miniature. Dorigo says, "Hey, through the creepiness that is Facebook, I saw you bidding on some Dragon magazines. Was there a particular one you were looking for?" No, to be honest, I think I have quite a few of those that I bid on. Um, I like I have a really fond memory of Dragon magazine. I read it as much as I could. When I was a kid, I couldn't afford every issue, even at $3 back then. That was a lot of money, and so I missed a lot of the earlier issues, and I got a lot of some of the later ones when I was working and had a job and things like that. But I bid on that one because it was and there were like 3 or 4 in there that I don't think I have, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm not a if I lose out on an auction, I don't get upset or anything. It's just like, oh well, I tried. I thought I'd made a pretty good bid, but then somebody outbid me, and I thought I'd made a pretty good bid, but then somebody outbid me, and that's fine. They must have wanted them more than I did. If I end up, what I really need to do is inventory dragons I have. I've got about, I want to say I probably have about 20 to 30 issues that run between issues 30 and 80 or 90. I don't have a consistency of issues, but what I do need to do is, yeah, I definitely need to inventory what I have so that I can keep an eye out for issues that I don't. Something in that one, I don't remember what, something in that one caught my eye, and so I made a bid, and I'm kind of glad I didn't get it because afterwards I realized that there were a few of those that I already had. I just remembered the covers. Um, so it's no biggie. If I had won it and had duplicates, that's okay. I've traded magazines or dragons before with other issues, so I'll hold on to them, and if you find somebody that needs an issue, I'll sometimes trade with them. But yeah, that was me. That was me. And that woman, whoever that is, she auctions off quite a lot of Dragon magazines. I don't know how many copies of each issue they have, but it seems like she's always auctioning off Dragon issues, usually in lots of 10. And but this one was 15, so that's why I want. I have a bunch I'm likely getting rid of. I'm only keeping ones I like the cover of. I appreciate it. I don't know what country you're in. I know you've told me at one point. Let me do this. I will send you. I appreciate the offer. Let me inventory what I have, and I'll send you the numbers I have, and then you can tell me what you have that you might be willing to sell, and I'll pay you a fair price for it, and I'll pay shipping. But you're in Maine. Okay. Let me just take a look and see what I have. Off the cuff, I can't remember. But I will look for you and let you know. So I made some mistakes on this that I'm going to repair, or not repair. I'm going to go over them in white, and just to oh yeah, that's weird. I got some blue in that. How did that happen? Oh, I know how. I was mixing some light blue earlier as a test, and I didn't need it. So yeah, thanks, Dorigo. I appreciate it. I will stay in touch and let you know. I'll try to inventory them maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. My kids are going back to school tomorrow. Thank goodness. I mean, I love them to death, but I'm ready for them to head back to school. I've had 3 days of I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. I'm like, dude, you're my kid. You can't be bored. The word bored doesn't exist in my vocabulary. There is always something to do, but they don't like to always do what I want to do. I'm trying to teach the younger one how to use Inkscape so he can start helping me make some laser files for like ornaments for next Christmas or whatever. And he likes the idea of selling them for money. He doesn't like the idea of actually having to spend the time and energy to do it. Carl, welcome. What game are we painting for? 2 of them, actually. I am painting Captain Marvel Marvel Crisis Protocol. And the other one I'm painting is just a standard sci-fi mini that I use in games like 5 Parsecs and Stargrave. And I'll show you a close-up in just a second. I'm just doing some touch-ups where I spilled over with some of the speed paints, and so I need to just correct. These speed paints really, really bleed. I mean, they bleed. If you're not careful, they'll get on everything. So you gotta do some touch-ups. All right, I think that is it. And this purple that I painted her skin is really bleeding through. White does not cover it in one coat. You really got to hit it with another coat. So, excuse me, she's got like purple skin and a red mohawk. I don't know why I went that way. I may hit the red mohawk with some other colors, some streaks or something later, just to give it a little crazy look. I'm gonna set her aside. It looks like the red is still drying on Captain Marvel. So I think what I'll do, hit the blue. I'm going to do her blue first, and then I'll come back and hit the yellow. So I'm worried that red being wet is going to bleed and bleed into the yellow and make it look not right. So the blue I've chosen is Magic Blue for her suit. Speed paint, Magic Blue. And I don't know if this is going to be a good choice or not, but we're going to try it. I'm going to start with her legs. Oh, no, I do like that blue. I do like that. It's very, ooh, man, it's blue. Let me tell you. No doubt she is wearing blue. When this dries, it is going to be vivid. I don't know if you can tell, but it is a vivid blue. I apologize. This camera just doesn't do colors very well. I am seriously considering getting a DSLR camera. I know nothing about cameras. I'm thinking about getting one just because I see so many people using them, and they do give good, high resolution. The colors are better. I've got to do something because I like doing these live sessions for y'all, but I feel like y'all aren't getting the whole effect of what I'm doing. And I will take some before and after. I took some before pictures, and I'll post those on my Facebook page when I'm done. I give mine a quick dry using a small hair dryer. Hey, Mac, are you here? Mac is here. Mac McClellan. Mac, I have a little hot air gun somewhere, and I just haven't. I'm too lazy to go dig it up. Because I'm painting two minis, I'll just let one dry while I'm painting the other. This blue seems to be really, really vivid and wet, though. No, it's Eric. Hey, Eric, I thought I had Mac on here, but I'm glad to have you on here, my friend. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving here. I ate way too much. We, I'm from the South, and a lot of my family grew up on the water, so we do turkey and ham and all that, but we really do seafood. And specifically, one of my aunts does gumbo, and she made her gumbo this time, and oh my gosh, it was so good. I had 3 bowls. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I had 3 bowls of it. I felt like a total I mean, I could not breathe, but it tasted so good. I was just like she goes, "How many bowls did you have?" I said, "I had 3," and she looked at me like I was insane, and I just said, "Look, I only get it once a year, so I'm gonna I'm gonna take it all." Carl says, "I played Gaslands, Palladium Rifts, and the World of Tanks miniature game mostly, Necromunda and Warcry." Cool. I mean, you're like me, man. I have a large variety of games, and I don't limit myself to one. That World of Tanks, I watched that being played recently. Where was I? I was somewhere where they were playing it. That was a cool game. I really liked it. I don't do much with historicals, which is probably wrong. I probably would enjoy historicals if I really got into them. I've just got so many other things going on that I don't need another genre of game. But anyway, can we claim I'm a long lost cousin? Yeah, Eric, you can come next year. You got it. I'll just tell him that we were separated at birth. My mom has offered to come up to Atlanta in the near future and teach me her gumbo recipe, which she's done it twice. Okay, so that tells you how my memory is. I just when I'm cooking, I have to actually physically do the cooking. I can't just take a recipe and work from it. And my mom knows this, so she's come up and taught me a few times, but it just didn't stick. It's got to stick before I can actually, do it. So anyway, do love me some gumbo. That is one of my favorite things in the world, and it's got to have shrimp. Or it's got to have shrimp in it and oysters. I know that sounds gross to some of y'all, but that's the way we do it. I give mine a okay. Just looking to see if I missed any notes. Okay. So is anybody else painting tonight, or is it just me? Are y'all just watching me paint, or watching me sort of struggle to paint? I Man, I really like this blue. I don't It's a little darker than what I was going for, but it's okay. It's gonna do just fine. Man, it looks so good. Yeah, Captain Marvel is the one miniature I've sort of been nervous about doing because because it's a very tight miniature in terms of like very close quarters painting, and just was a little nervous. Carl says it is not historical like Flames of War, Tank Arena Deathmatch. Yeah, I could see that. Um, is interesting. If anybody's out there and you're looking to travel next weekend, I think it's next weekend. Once a month, the historical society, the historical gaming, I forget what they call themselves, the Historical War Gamers Association of Atlanta, or something like that. They do once a month. They have a gathering at Gigabytes here in Atlanta, and I believe it's next Saturday. And I always go. I go and I watch. I don't play, but I go and watch because it is so cool to see all the terrain. And it's a mix. It's a mix of 15 millimeter, 28 millimeter. I think there's other sizes mixed in there as well. It's really wild. They'll have World War II demos and full on games. And what's really cool about it is they set it up so that anybody can just walk up, like kids or parents can walk up and just play. They'll have the rules sort of set out so that people can see what the game is, can check out the rule books and things. It's the guy who runs it. His name is William Thorpe. He's a friend of mine, and I met him through this, and we've gotten to know each other. And he puts on a great event. What's really fun is he usually dresses up in some sort of period costume. I've seen him do World War II. I think last time he did, what was he last time? It was I think it was British something or other. But he doesn't he doesn't do anything halfway. He really puts on a great show for visitors and for the people who attend. And so if you're in the Atlanta area, or if you're interested in more information, I'll see if I can find some more information. Dorigo says, I've been reorganizing my paint hobby computer space for like 4 days. Yeah, that sounds about right. I've been there. Um, Eric says Atomic Mass Games has some absolute gorgeous minis for MCP, but they are definitely frustrating to assemble. Are you talking about are you talking about terrain for the game, or are you talking about like NPC, like civilians, or I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out. I'm getting, as soon as I get ready, as soon as get all my miniatures painted and Sawyer and I start playing, I'm probably going to go full crazy mode. I just messed up. Full crazy mode with terrain for Marvel. I don't have any like cartoonish comic book themed style terrain, and it's just this game just screams for that kind of terrain. So I'm going to have to do something. So keep an eye out for that. Once I figure out what I'm going to do, I'll start making some videos, but I definitely want to do some. Don't tell my son, but he's getting his own MCP core set for a birthday for Christmas. Oh, that's cool, Eric. Marvel Crisis, just the core. Hey, MCP has some cosmic themed terrain too. Oh, interesting. Okay. Cosmic themed terrain. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I went into Gigabytes probably a month or two ago, and they were having a Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament. I had never seen so many miniatures and terrain all in one guy had every Marvel miniature that the company has released. Plus he had multiples of like the Sentinels and some of the other ones that I can't remember that are, you can have multiples of. He had them all, and they were all painted really well. And he had all the terrain, the official terrain that's from the game company. What else did he have? I mean, oh, he had laminated. He had like crazy, like laminated reference sheets that were like custom made with graphics and stuff. It was, I mean, the dude was not messing around, and I was just blown away. A lot now and more coming. Really, I know that I know that Marvel Crisis is popular. I had no idea how popular. So here she is so far. The white around her waist and near up above her chest, and her gloves are going to be yellow, but I need this blue and red to dry before I attempt that. And I've got to make a fix on her shoulder where I touched it with the blue. Blah. Can't believe I did that. All right, jacket's coming off now. Even though it's cold down here, just sitting here and moving around is making me hot. All right, so this woman, or this mutant sci-fi, she's wearing a lot of armor. Her boots are armored, her clothing, her gloves, everything is like armored. So I'm gonna use the gunmetal versus the silver. I just like the darker gunmetal for some reason for this particular mini. I think I'm going to give it a shot. Her sword I'll paint with a lighter silver color. Guess he loves Crisis. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to talk to him. He was in the middle of a game, but I did ask him if I could look at his minis and take pictures, and I don't know why I didn't take any, but I just stood there in awe looking at all of that he had done. It was crazy. All right, let's see. Okay, what was I doing? I'm doing armor, and I'm doing armor. That's what I'm going to do. All armor. And this is not a speed paint, by the way. This is just Army Painter gunmetal. That's the name of it. Crisis gets played a lot at my gaming store. Really, I mean that's awesome. I am so glad to hear that, because anytime you get into a new game, at least for me, my worry is I'm going to get in. I'm going to sink all this money into buying the minis, and I'm going to learn the rules and make some terrain, and then the company's going to let the license go, and we'll never hear from the game again. But so far, it does seem like they are intent on keeping this game going, because I was in the store last week, and I saw the new Sentinels were released. Some new Sentinel version was released, and something else. So they're still releasing new miniatures for it. Um, I think I thought that what my son and I would do would we would just pick a side, like bad guys versus good guys, but that doesn't seem fun. I want to be able to customize my team, and so does he. So we'll do that whole, the good guys can play, the good guys and bad guys will play together. And now what's hard is coming up with a reason. Why would Spider-Man be fighting Iron Man, or why would the Hulk be fighting Captain America? Um, I mean, I know that you can come up with 1,000 different reasons, but it's just weird to see a game where you have like the good guys and bad guys mixed and going up against, you know, sort of key characters in the game. All right, yeah, yeah, I was gonna say this is probably a little darker than what I wanted, but I think it's gonna be okay. Hmm, it's a little, it's a little darker than what I wanted, but it's all right. Uh, so let's see what else is going on this week. Well, I've got a bunch of new videos that are releasing this week over at the Tabletop Engineer Plays. I've got some new games coming out that I'm going to be covering. I forgot to put, well, I didn't forget. I didn't get it edited. Last week, I was hoping to get out a new 5 Leagues solo game, and I did not get it out in time. So it's coming out this week. And what else? I may have a 5 Parsecs game if I can get it edited in time. I may try to get it out on Friday. We'll see. Spider-Man and Iron Man fought many times, and well, Wolverine fought everyone. Yeah, I know. Hulk smash. That's all. Yeah, yeah. There's always a way to justify it. It's just so weird to see it on a tabletop. Um, what I kind of wish they do is release some scenarios that would justify like putting, say, Red Skull and Captain America on the same team. I mean, you can always do it, but some official scenarios would be really, really slick. All right, I'm just gonna start slapping this on because I'm not gonna make. I don't care. The base, I don't care if it gets a little silver on it because I'm gonna black it anyway. One of my lights just went out. Come on. I have motion. Hang on just one second. I have motion sensor lights in my workshop. There we go. And after like 30 minutes, they go down and it really turns the screen dark. So let's see. I was going to ask y'all something. So anybody got any cons that they're going to say in December? I don't have any. If there were some in the near area, I would certainly consider them. But Jeff Con was the last one I went to, and that may be the last one of the year. I've got Coastal Con coming up in February. I think it's February. And best way to do that is pick a team. Yeah. My youngest he's very, very strategic. He will investigate all the characters and their special abilities, and he will make his decisions. Uh, I mean, he doesn't mess around. I love watching him when he's picking out like we play this game called Marvel Champions. It's a card game, and he'll spend an hour or two building a new deck for a new scenario, trying out different cards, see what just thinking them over, trying to figure out which ones pair up with one another, and he impresses me. I'm getting ready to teach him Star Breach. If any of you know that game, we've been playing this game called Space Weirdos, and I like Space Weirdos. He kicks my butt at it. I mean, seriously, I don't let him win. He just beats me. He gets a combination of lucky rolls and he's just very strategic in his thinking. But he beats me a lot at the game, and I like I like Space Weirdos, but it's very limited. It doesn't have a whole lot of variations. in the classes and the powers and the weapons and stuff. So I'm going to be introducing him to. Going to be introduced. Wow, she has a weird looking foot that's not armored. What? And how did I miss that? Okay, that's supposed to be purple. I don't know how I missed that. She's wearing one boot that's armored, and her other leg is not armored. I don't understand that. Digs lures. I'm going to a sport and outdoor show, but that's for the other side. Yeah, that's not a gaming. Well, I mean, I guess that's a hobby, and that certainly counts. I just I know I get itchy around Christmas time to play with friends, and of course everybody's with their families, and so I usually have to, and that's why I play a lot of solo games, is because I can't often meet my friends anyway, even when they're available. Um, Although with my kids getting older now, it's getting easier to get into the game stores and say, yeah, I'll meet you there, because it used to be I'd have to babysit because my wife would work some odd hours, and but now with they're a little older, I can leave them without feeling guilty and without breaking the law. Yeah, the law in Georgia frowns upon just leaving your kids food and telling them you'll be back in 3 or 4 hours after you finish a game. At least that's what my wife tells me. I don't know. I guess I should look up the law. She is an attorney, so she probably would know, right? Is the unarmored leg supposed to be prosthetic? No, it's a claw. It's a three-toed claw. I mean, she's a mutant, no doubt. She's got two arms on her left side, one arm on her right. She's got freaky gill-looking ears and a red mohawk that doesn't look like hair. It looks like it's some sort of fish thing. She's a very weird miniature, but she's perfect for like a game like 5 parsecs, because that game just screams for alien miniatures, weird ones too, and so she definitely fits the part. I'm getting into painting lures for fishing, but I also build displays. I might get into some sort of tabletop game. Yeah, man, I totally get it. um, I have multiple hobbies too, not just gaming, but the gaming one is the one that seems to take the most time for me, which I'm not complaining. That's where I spend my time. Painting lures, that sounds interesting. I've never really been into fishing. I grew up on the water, and I've been fishing, and I love being on the water and boating, but fishing never really grabbed me. I understand why people love it. I really do. It just wasn't my thing. My grandfather was a fisherman. I mean, like, he worked at the shipyards, but most of the time when he wasn't at the shipyards, he was out on a boat throwing nets and fishing, and used to bring home some of the best seafood. All right, I think I got one more glove to paint. What time is it? 8:30. Good. We're doing good. I try to do 2 minis in an hour. If I can stay on target with that, I usually feel pretty good. And right now, I'm feeling pretty good. This one's getting wrapped up. I'm getting ready to switch over to Captain Marvel again as soon as I get this glove finished. Um, but I'm gonna have to repair. I keep saying repair. I'm gonna have to reprime the leg, because it just, after I painted it, then the detail popped out. I'm like, oh, that's a foot. It's a three toes claw talon foot. Man, it's weird looking. Um, she's freaky looking, man. If you saw that coming, dude, just run the other way. All right, that's gonna do for now. Let me let that silver or gunmetal dry, and let's head back to. Brian says, just walked in from our beach trip for Thanksgiving. Oh, y'all went down to Orange Beach, I assume. We weren't there this Thanksgiving, Brian. I'm sorry we missed you all. I would have loved to have been there, but what superhero is she supposed to be? She's super freak. There you go. She's not in the Marvel Crisis universe. She's just a diehard miniatures metal miniature that I picked up, and I just love the look of it. So I was like, I'm gonna paint that. All right, let's do it looks like the blue is still drying, so I'm gonna do the red sash and boots, and then I'll hit the yellow. Yeah, no, there we go. Yeah, no, she's not. That one's not in the Marvel Crisis universe, or if she is, man, it's a weird one. Um, that one is just one of my diehard miniatures that I purchased, and I think I told y'all I know I did because I did the opening. I got like 20 of the new Kickstarter miniatures from Die Hard. They came in the mail last week, and I'm getting them ready to prime and paint. Um, I'm just such a fan of theirs. I can't say it enough. Y'all probably get tired of me talking about them, but their sci-fi collection. I mean, they have fantasy, and their fantasy stuff looks awesome, but I am definitely all about their sci-fi collection. They don't have like one of a mini, they'll have like 3 or 4 of a gang, and they all will have like a similar look or style. Sometimes they have the same armor, or sometimes they have the same weapon, or sometimes they're just the same race, but then they have different poses and different loadouts, and it's just a really I like how they do that. I like that they offer these collections, but you don't have to worry about being a one-off, you know? If you can buy them one at a time, they'll sell them individually, but they also sell them in groups. So if you like a particular group, like they have a set of robots that is really cool, and I got them all, and or at least I think I got them all. And they also have a gang of snake people that I've started painting, and I painted one of those last week with a in a new video. I think that was one of the ones I did. But yeah, if you're in need of some sci-fi or fantasy miniatures, definitely swing over to Die Hard Miniatures and check out what they got, because you're definitely gonna like it. It's some good stuff. Oh man, when you're controlling your hand, trying not to get the colors to bleed into other speed paints. I wonder if anyone's ever done a study of like the mechanics, the muscle mechanics of painting miniatures, because you're using fine motor control. That's there's no doubt there. But you're also, you're having to keep the brush from shaking. So you're using muscles that I suspect you don't even know. Like you may be using, I suspect you use muscles for like locking your hand, and then you probably also use muscles for like preventing I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I know that when you like weightlifting, a lot of times you're doing exercise, you use muscles that are just traditionally not hit unless you do certain exercises or certain movements. And I got to think that when you're painting miniatures, that there are some muscles in your hand that you use for like fine, not there's muscles for not shaking maybe, and maybe muscles even for like locking the hand so it can only go like in a certain direction. I don't know. I mean, this may be total baloney, but I wonder about things like that sometimes. I'm sitting there trying not to make the red and blue touch, and I'm doing a pretty good job of it. But it's like, you know, am I doing that, or is it experience? Is it the muscle memory? What is causing my hand to not slip and go a little extra half a millimeter and get the red on the blue? And then sometimes sometimes I just have a spasm in my hand, and I can't control it. Like I'll jump or move or twitch or cough or something, and you can't control that kind of thing. But um Art Vein, hey, I paint miniatures like I'm painting concepts for work. I'm more concerned with the just all of the piece rather than worrying about the individual parts. Okay, all right, good to see you. Um, I hope you and Carly had a nice Thanksgiving. Dorigo says you mentioned cons. If I had the time and money, I'd go to PAX Unplugged. Somebody recently asked me if I was going to PAX Unplugged. Oh, I know it was. It was Professor Dungeon Master when I was at Jeff Con. I think he may be going to PAX. I think I could be wrong. Maybe he said he wasn't going, but he did ask if I was going to be able to go. And I've never been to PAX. I probably should try at some point to to go. Is that? Oh boy, did I use the wrong red? Yeah, I did. I should probably try to go just because I've never been. So, Indie Invasion Podcast. Hello. Now we got Eric and we've got Mac on here. And if you're not listening to the Indie Invasion podcast, you got to do it. They put on a good show every week. And I think also now on Saturdays they're doing painting. Eric's doing. You still doing that, Eric? Paint the minis on Saturday? I think you still are. My Saturdays are so up in the air. I can't often commit to things like that. Love the robots by Hydra. Yes, the Hydra miniatures robots are so retro. They're like Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers type. As a matter of fact, I found mine. I had lost them, or when we moved from the old house to this house, I was like, I know I had them, and I don't know what I did with them. I found them like a week ago. I was going through some stuff, and they were packed in the wrong box. So I need to break those out and maybe paint those up. Thanks for reminding me. Those are some really, really cool sci-fi miniatures. All right, the red is done. Now all I've got to do is the yellow, her hair, and the rock. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the rock since I can let the red dry. Craig Stevenson. Surprised this wasn't on my homepage. I scrolled down a bit. I'm sure you. Yeah. Hey, sorry. That is odd. I try to post on my Facebook page, the Tabletop Engineer, a reminder, and I usually try to do that about an hour or so before each session. I probably should do it sooner. I don't know. Let the word spread or let people luck into finding it. I don't really, other than just telling y'all that, yeah, I'm going to be trying to do this every Sunday. I'm not quite sure, how to spread the word properly. I could have a Discord, yes, but that's just one more thing that I've got to maintain, and one more thing I really just don't have time to deal with. But I'm starting to come around to it because I am using some Discord channels recently, and I'm starting to see the value of it. It's very focused versus Facebook, which is like anything goes. So I definitely can see the benefit of like discuss of I don't know what you call them, categories or subsections of your Discord page that you can dedicate to like topics or times or events and things like that. So maybe one of these days soon, maybe over the holiday, I'll look into doing something like that. We shall see. Diggs Lord, I think I need some contrast paints to do some of the people for my display. The contrast paints, or the speed paints, or actually Vallejo even now has some, but I can't remember what they're called. Anybody know? They don't call their speed paints, and they don't call them contrast. They call them something else. But everybody's getting them now, and it makes sense. I mean, you can get some painting done. I mean, and you're not going to get a professional level unless you're a professional painter, but you can definitely, with the contrast or the speed paints, express. I think you're right. These paints are really allowing people to get paint on models and get them on the table so that they can play. And that's, I'm telling you, man, that's, for me, that's the most important part. I don't so much care. I want paint on my models, but I don't care if they look super, super professional and all. I just want paint on them. Craig says, I'm in a lot of Discord channels for friends and Twitch streamers of all, but I honestly don't keep up with them. Yeah, Discord overwhelms me. And I used to work in technology, and my wife and a lot of family members make fun of me because I used to be in tech, but I'm not in tech anymore. And it's amazing how fast you sort of lose a taste for it. And I try not to add complexity to my life. And Discord screams complexity. I mean, at least to me. Maybe other people would disagree, but it's so over the top difficult for me to figure it out. Painting minis myself this evening, having returned from the holiday. Used speed paints and contrast paints. Todd Ninjon, John Nunez, does a great series on the mechanics and process of mini painting, from posture to position to desk height to area. Yeah. that sounds complicated, but it does sound fun to watch. I mean, I will watch Zarastro. Is it Zarastro? I think it's a guy named Zarastro. He's British. He paints minis. I could watch and listen to him paint all day because he does a really good job. But I have zero patience for that level of painting. He's incredible though. So I will check that out. I know who Ninjon is. I know who you're talking about. I think he's one of the guys who got invited to do the testing of the new speed paint colors. I think I could be wrong. Sarastro, that's it, not Zarastro. That's it. You have to manage the channels you're part of. I'm only a member about 10, and I regularly use those 10. One of them is dedicated to Mexican food. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have heard that Discord is really good for family. I've heard that. I've heard people say that I use it to keep our family, photos and our calendars and things and extended family. So yeah, that does make sense. All right, I'm doing the yellow now on the gloves, and the yellow is yellow, but I'm questioning whether it's going to dry the yellow that I want. Actually, it does look pretty good. Oh, and I forgot, I primed her in a very bright white, like twice. So I did that because I knew that I was going to be putting yellow and red over the white. His group got in some trouble over there as well. Were they the ones that accidentally released like a video, too soon, or I forget? They released a picture or something of a GW model, and I could be wrong. I think that's who we're talking about. And if not, I apologize to whoever that is that I'm thinking of the wrong person. But yes. Okay. Yeah, Miniac. Miniac was the one that posted a photo, and GW blew that out of proportion. I mean, I get that they want to protect their secrets, and they have marketing in place for like timing things and stuff. But when one of your biggest promoters and fans and painters of your minis makes that kind of mistake, I mean, you have to ask them, was it done purposefully? If not, you give them a pass and you say, listen, just be more careful in the future. But from what I understand, that one was blown so out of proportion, based on what happened. And I kind of felt bad for Scott. Miniac, because that had to hurt him. I mean, it not just his channel, but hurt him personally, that a company that he loves and does a lot of work for and paints a lot of their stuff, that he probably, it hurt him that they would look at him in a bad way. And I feel bad for the guy. Maybe he's over it. I don't know. I hope so. I hope he is over that, and that it's no longer a thing, but I don't know. Let's see. On the table tonight, I'm finishing up the main characters set from Black Site Series. Oh, I love Don't Look Back. I have all mine painted, and I've been meaning to start playing a campaign of it. I'm going to watch some more playthrough videos just to make sure I get the rules right. It's a really, I'm going to be honest, for me personally, the manual for that, the manual for that game is it's a little, I don't know, confusing in some places. And I just, I don't know. I like the game. I want to play it. Now her skin looks almost, I don't know. Anyway, not going to worry about it. With the size I'm working with, I'm thinking the contrast space will just make life easier. 28 millimeter loose stand, head, shoulders, taller when I'm working. Oh yeah, 28 mil. I mean, these are, is this 50 mil? I can't remember. I can't remember what Marvel Crisis Protocol is, but these may be 50 mil, and they're easier to paint than 28, but 28s aren't bad. Todd says, pretty sure he has a thick skin. Well, I hope so, because I mean, they really came down on him pretty hard. Hit me up with questions, Jim. My obsession lately. All right, I will. Craig, I got DLV back. I just started breaking into the minis and terrain. Yeah. Don't Look Back. I mean, what I've seen of it, it just looks so much fun. I just haven't had a chance to really sit down and play it. I think what I'm going to do is once the yellow dries. Sorry guys, I'm trying to line this up. There we go. Once the yellow dries, I may go over it with an actual non-speed paint yellow just to get the gloves and the yellow around her chest and back, because it's a little on the back, especially it's a little too close to the red and it's hard to see. DLB is Don't Look Back. It's a horror game where your miniatures are running from a killer like Jason or Freddy or something like that. It's a crazy game. Blacksitestudios.com, I believe, is the website, and it's definitely worth checking out. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with her. I'm ready to play. I mean, I could play this just like it is, but I may I don't know. I may hit that yellow with an actual yellow. The Connor and Matt made for the game. So it's some. Now, are Connor and Matt, are they the ones that created the game? I think they are. And yeah, they did. If it's them, I've watched their official, in quotes, I've watched their official videos. Um, but a lot of times they get off on tangents. Yeah, they they start talking, and I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of some other videos, but I seem to recall when I was watching their videos that they would often get off topic. And if that's not them, then somebody was. Somebody I was watching was way off topic when they were playing the games and couldn't stay on it. So what I'm doing right now is just I'm going around the base, the Captain Marvel's base in black, just to make that gray stand out. And then once that gray dries, I will hit it with a dark wash. Um, and by the way, here's Iron Man. And the only reason I have him was I had messed up his base, and so now that I've got the black out, I'm gonna fix his base, go all the way around it, and I'm hitting it again as I'm getting too fast. But the good news is this stuff runs right off. The other thing I needed to do with Iron Man was hit his base top with a dark wash. So I'll do that in a minute. Connor and Ben run black site. Yeah, the vids were made during Twitch streams. So yeah, that was it. You're right. They were doing them live, and they would take questions and get interrupted and stuff. You're right. I forgot about that. I mean, they're funny and they know their game. So maybe I do need to watch those because they definitely know the rules. MCP is considered 32 millimeters, says Eric. Okay, 32. I thought it was 50, but I'm thinking something else. Something else is 50. I can't remember, but I like 32 mil. I really do. They're nice and big, but on a tabletop, if you're playing a lot of miniatures and you were playing at 32 mil, man, you'd have to have a lot of space to spread those minis out. Did I miss anybody else? Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Some of the bases are 50 mil. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. And Todd says Malifaux's 32, MCP is 40. Okay, all I know about MCP is it's big. It's bigger than the 28 mils, and that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. It's one of the few games I have where the miniatures are quite large. The other miniatures that I'm really enjoying, but they're hard to paint, are the Colonial Marines for Aliens, another glorious day in the core. Those miniatures are great, but the resin that they use or the plastic that they use isn't the best. So some of the detail is not there, and then when you paint them, it can get a little the detail is not there, so their faces tend to look just like blobs, or maybe on video they look okay, but when you see them in person, they're not all that great. Even Ripley looks like Ripley from a distance, but when you look at her miniature up close, she's like, oh man, there's no detail to it. And that's because they're smaller. I think they're 25 mil or 26. I can't remember what the standard is, but they are not 28 millimeter. At least I don't believe they are. If they are, I would be surprised. They are definitely not right. Conquest or one of the Star Wars games. I think the Shatterpoint is going to fall in his. Really, I know nothing about Shatterpoint. I've heard of it, or maybe it was something recently was announced about it, but I know nothing about it. Is it going to be a competitor to Legion, or are they phasing out Legion? I don't know. Who's doing Shatterpoint? The terrain is supposed to be model railroad. Oh, wow. Star Wars MC. Oh, are you kidding me? They're going to come out with a Marvel Crisis Protocol, but in the Star Wars universe? Oh, I'm in trouble. I am going to be like, money-wise, I mean, my wife's going to divorce me. She's going to be like, all right, I've had enough. You've spent too much money. She wouldn't do that. She knows I love my hobbies, but oh my gosh, she is going to. But but it's different. It's different than the others. This is a Star Wars version. Yeah. Wow. That is gonna be interesting because I will tell you, I really like Marvel Crisis Protocol. I like the data cards that it comes with. I like the tokens, and I like the way the game mechanics sort of flow based on what I know of the game. But that is really interesting. That I didn't know anything about that. Same company then as Marvel Crisis, right? I would assume it's going to have the same if it's the same company, then that probably means they're going to use the same mechanics. Cards will be similar. Yep. Okay. Oh, that's man. Just when I get away from Star Wars, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars. I will always be a Star Wars fan, but I'm very picky about Star Wars. I'm not a fan of Legion. I've played it a few times, and it just never really clicked with me. And I apologize to anyone out there who loves Legion. It's a great game. It's a great game. It's just I could not get into it. And I own the core. I own the core set, and I painted up all the stormtroopers, and I painted up all my rebels. And I just I felt awful because being such a Star Wars geek, I really wanted to love it. I wanted to love that game. Atomic Mass Games. Okay, so that's who makes. To be honest, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't even know who made Marvel Champions Protocol. I just see the boxes and I recognize them, but I didn't know the name of the game company. But now I do. Thank you. That's helpful. All right. I'm gonna paint the. Well, she is pretty much done, except for some little bits of detail. All right, so she's done. Let me show you. I'm gonna have to let the paints dry. So I got her done, and I will take some good photos of this one. Um, she's got a lot of metal, a lot of silver that I'm gonna have to go over with some washes to take that shine down a little bit. But very, very pleased with her. I'm also gonna have to black the base, which I haven't done yet, and I'm not gonna do that right now because we're almost out of time. But oh, you know what I can do? I can hit the dark wash and show you the base. Now, when it comes to the bases of the Marvel Crisis ones, I use dark tone, just plain dark tone on the gray cement, and it just dirties it up. And I don't think about it. I just slap it on with a big thick brush. It'll probably take a little more than that. Let me get a little more because I got to do Iron Man too. So I just soak the brush in it, and then I just smear it over the base. And I am going to have to hit that rock. That rock does not look natural, so I'm going to hit it with some dry brushing once this dries. But I just sort of hit the base with this nasty dark tone, and let me hit the rock too. And when it dries, it sort of fills in the cracks of the rock and the cement, and just gives it a nice, dirty, nasty, grungy city look. And it gets down in those cracks and crevices. All right, let me do Iron Man while I'm thinking about it. Iron Man, just so you know, when I painted Iron Man, I think I made a video of it. I started painting all the Marvel ones this summer and then kind of got away from it. But what I did was I painted him in silver or metallic, and then I went over him with the gold and the red, and it gave him that nice, metallic look. I didn't come up with that. I saw it on a video and said, "Oh, that's what I'm going to do," and it did. It turned out pretty well. The light went out again, so. Uh, but he's definitely one of my favorite. I love Iron Man. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. And let me go turn this light on again. All right. So anyway, let me throw the camera up here so you guys can see me. So I will be here Wednesday night, 8 p.m. for more crafting. I didn't get as much done on the dungeon tiles as I wanted, so I may do a new craft this Wednesday. I haven't decided yet. It remains to be seen how much I can get done before Wednesday on the gluing down of the individual brick tiles. So never jumped in Legion. Look forward to this one. It'll look great. I'm gonna have to check this out as soon as I get off with you guys. I'm gonna go check on my kiddos, and then I'm gonna jump on board. But that's pretty cool. Now, I will say this. If they allow you to mix and match like good guys, bad guys, that's really hard. It would be so hard to see like Princess Leia teaming up with Darth Vader or Boba Fett or something like that. Well, I guess you could see Han Solo maybe teaming up with him, but given the amount of characters that are in Marvel and Star Wars, I could totally see that game making a lot of money. But I'm curious to see how they're going to do it because I'm a traditionalist when it comes to Star Wars. I like it. I like good guys or rebels versus the Empire. One of the reasons I got out of Legion, by the way, was because they sort of ran out of stuff for the first trilogy, for the original trilogy, episodes 4 through 6. And then they focused heavily on Clone Wars, which was never really something I enjoyed. I mean, I watched it, but it didn't hit me. And then the New Republic stuff, and I'm like, eh. It was almost like they were just throwing darts to see what they could come up with next. And I just lost interest. So I'll be curious to see what they do with Star Wars, but I worry that they'll go that route where they'll be like, okay, you can team up like Anakin with, Darth Vader. It's like, what? They got to have some limits on that kind of stuff, especially if they're going to cover the range of time periods in movies that Star Wars offers. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, they're doing dark side, light side initially. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes total sense. But I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. You know what? Smarter game creators out there, smart game creators, they'll probably have that game polished and tested, and it'll probably be very, very cool. And we'll all be in a year talking about how much fun it is. We'll see. All right, it is 9 o'clock, right on the nose. I didn't finish painting the base, but I did get 2 minis painted in 1 hour. And I'm going to finish this one up in the morning, and then I will take some pictures of these two and compare them with some before and after shots. And I think I took some before shots of this one. I think I did. And I know I got some of Marvel. And I'll post those on the Tabletop Engineer Facebook page for you to take a look. All right, so just a quick reminder, Wednesday night, live crafting, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're into crafting and you want to do some you want to watch, I'll be doing something that night. I'm not sure yet what, but it will be hopefully interesting and fun. And let's see. And then, of course, just check out the Tabletop Engineer Plays. I'm continuing to add more campaign games. I don't know how I'm... I actually do have checklists and schedules, and sometimes those schedules just get thrown away because I get into a game or something like that. But check that channel out if you're interested in watching some of the solo games I play. And it's not just war games. I play some board games and things like that. So hopefully there will be something that you might find of interest. All right, my friends, let me go ahead and say bye. So I'll let you guys say goodbye, and join me next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, for another round of painting miniatures. I'll come up with 2 new miniatures to paint, and we'll get to chatting next week. All right, everybody, have a good evening. Have a great week. And if I don't see you Wednesday, I'll see you next Sunday. All right, take care. Bye.